Have you ever imagined what it would be like to be attacked by a massive crocodile? Well, for one man, it became a horrifying reality. In this video, we'll take a look at a brutal crocodile attack and what happened to him. Get ready for a heart-pumping story that you won't soon forget. The setting. Our story takes us to the banks of the Zambezi River, where a group of men were fishing. Among them was a man named Michael, who was an experienced fisherman and had been fishing in the river for years. Michael woke up early in the morning before the sun had even risen to prepare for his day of fishing. He knew the river like the back of his hand, and he had a favorite spot where he always caught the most fish. He packed up his gear and set off to meet his friends at the riverbank. As he approached, he saw that his friends had already set up their fishing poles and were chatting and joking with each other. They welcomed him warmly, and he began to set up his own pole. The sun was just starting to rise, casting a warm orange glow across the water. Michael cast his line into the river and settled in for a day of fishing. He loved the quiet, peaceful sound of the water lapping against the shore, the gentle breeze rustling through the trees, and the occasional bird chirping in the distance. As the day went on, Michael's friends caught a few fish, but he seemed to be having an off day. He couldn't seem to catch anything, no matter how hard he tried. He tried different bait and different spots along the riverbank, but nothing worked. He grew frustrated, but he didn't give up. Hours passed, and the sun climbed higher in the sky. Michael's friends had caught several fish by now, and they were teasing him about his bad luck. Michael laughed it off and kept fishing. As the afternoon wore on, Michael noticed something odd. The usually quiet river had grown still, almost eerily so. He glanced around and saw that his friends had noticed it too. They all grew quiet, listening intently to the water. Suddenly, the peace was shattered. The men were caught off guard and didn't have time to react. Chaos ensued as they tried to defend themselves. In the aftermath, Michael was left with scars both physical and emotional. He had always respected the river and its inhabitants, but now he felt a sense of fear that he had never felt before. The once peaceful river would never be the same again, and neither would Michael. But what was it all about, and what happened to Michael? The attack. As Michael was fishing, he noticed movement in the water. Before he could react, a massive crocodile emerged from the water and grabbed him by his leg. Michael tried to fight back, but the crocodile's grip was too strong. It dragged him into the water, and the other men watched in horror as he was brutally attacked by the crocodile. As Michael was fishing, he noticed movement in the water. He felt a sudden tug on his leg, and before he could react, a massive crocodile emerged from the water and grabbed him with its powerful jaws. Michael was an experienced fisherman and had seen crocodiles before, but he had never been so close to one. He tried to fight back, hitting the crocodile with his fishing rod, but the beast's grip was too strong. It dragged him into the water, and the other men watched in horror as Michael's screams echoed through the air. The crocodile shook him violently, its razor-sharp teeth tearing into his flesh. Michael's friends rushed to the shore, but there was nothing they could do. The crocodile was too strong, and it continued its brutal attack. Michael's body was thrashed back and forth, blood spraying into the water with each bite. The men were frozen, unable to comprehend the horror before them. They knew they had to do something, but they were powerless against the massive crocodile. It was only a matter of time before Michael's body would be torn apart. After what seemed like an eternity, the crocodile finally released Michael's lifeless body. The men rushed to the water's edge, but it was too late. Michael was gone, taken by the vicious beast that lurked in the depths of the Zambezi River. The men were inconsolable. Michael was a good man, a loving husband and father, and a valued member of their community. They couldn't believe he was gone, taken so suddenly and violently by a creature that had once seemed so harmless. They gathered Michael's body and took it back to his family, who were devastated by the news. They held a funeral, and the entire community came to mourn their loss. Michael's death had a profound impact on everyone who knew him, and it served as a stark reminder of the dangers that lurked in the wild. In the end, Michael's death was a tragedy, but it also served as a cautionary tale. It reminded everyone that nature can be unforgiving, and that we must always be careful when we venture into the wild. The men who witnessed the attack would never forget what they saw, and they would carry the memory of Michael with them for the rest of their lives. The aftermath. The other men tried to rescue Michael, but it was too late. He had succumbed to his injuries and had died on the spot. The news of his death sent shockwaves through the community, and people started questioning the safety of fishing in crocodile-infested waters. The aftermath of Michael's tragic death had a profound impact on the local community. The incident had not only claimed a life, but also had shattered the confidence of the fishermen. The men who used to fish in the river regularly were now scared to go back to the water. They feared that the crocodile that had attacked Michael might still be lurking in the water, waiting to attack them. The news of the attack had spread like wildfire, and people started talking about it in neighboring towns and villages. The incident had put the spotlight on the issue of wildlife conservation in the area, particularly the conservation of crocodiles. The local authorities, including the Department of National Parks and Wildlife Management, took notice of the incident and started an investigation. They soon discovered that the crocodile that had attacked Michael was a large male that had been frequenting that part of the river for several years. The authorities also found out that the crocodile had attacked several other people in the past, but those incidents had gone unreported. They realized that there was a need to educate the local community about the dangers of fishing in crocodile-infested waters and how to stay safe. As a result, the Department of National Parks and Wildlife Management organized several awareness campaigns in the area. They taught the people how to avoid crocodile attacks and what to do in case of an attack. They also started a program to relocate crocodiles that posed a threat to human life to safer areas. The incident had a lasting impact on the family and friends of Michael. They were devastated by his death and struggled to come to terms with the fact that he was no longer with them. Michael had been the sole breadwinner of his family, and his death had left them in a precarious financial situation. The community rallied around the family, and several people came forward to offer their support. They helped the family with the funeral expenses and even provided them with food and other essentials. Michael's death had united the community, and people realized the importance of standing together in times of crisis. In conclusion, the tragic incident on the banks of the Zambezi River had far-reaching consequences. It had not only claimed a life, but it also highlighted the importance of wildlife conservation and safety measures in crocodile-infested waters. The incident had brought the community together and reminded them of the need to support each other in times of crisis. The lesson. This story is a reminder of the dangers of fishing in crocodile-infested waters. While it is essential to enjoy nature and explore new places, it is equally important to take precautions and be aware of the risks. In Michael's case, he took a risk that proved to be fatal. We hope that this story will serve as a lesson to all fishermen out there to be cautious and prepared for any situation that may arise. Thank you for watching this story. It is important to remember that nature can be unpredictable, and we must always be cautious and respectful of its inhabitants. We hope that this story has raised awareness of the dangers of fishing in crocodile-infested waters and will inspire you to take necessary precautions when exploring new places. If you enjoyed this story and would like to watch more, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you again for your time and stay safe out there.